Hello everyone, I Jhalak Patel, Assistant Professor at Alger Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Welcomes you to the session of wireless communication. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 4, that is Multiple Access Techniques, with topic OFDM. So let's start the session. First of all, as we discussed in the last lecture about the comparison of FDMA, TDMA and CDMA technique, that each multiple access techniques its own advantage and own limitation. That in case of FDMA we have seen that it says the individual channel for individual user, while in case of TDMA information is passed in terms of data burst, means time slots. In case of CDMA, we have seen that the narrow bandwidth signal is multiplexed with the large bandwidth signal and creates the pseudo-random code. But in each case, the limitations are there, like in case of FDMA, resource wastage is there. In case of TDMA, synchronization is must, and in case of CDMA, each time we have to create the code for the individual usage. So, based on this type of limitations of each system, we have introduced another multiplexing technique or multiple access technique, that is OFDM, means orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Now, it offers the narrower bandwidth. So these features helps to overcome the limitation of FDMA, that in case of FDMA we have seen that the band is wasted. So in case of OFDM it offers the narrower bandwidth usage, and because of that we can use or more utilize the bandwidth. Next is efficient power utilization. So in case of CDMA it is used that to overcome the limitation of CDMA, that efficient power utilization, because in case of CDMA we have seen that there is a unbalance of power is there, means power level is unbalanced at a transmitter side as well as at a receiver side, and because of that efficient power utilization is necessary. Third one is elimination of intermodulation product. This intermodulation product is created in case of FDMA because of its non-linear effect. Because of the non-linearity, we have seen that in case of FDMA it creates the distortion and produces the IM3 product. So this IM3 is nothing but the intermodulated product term. This should be as minimum as possible. So by using the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, we can eliminate that particular intermodulation products. So these are the advantages of OFDM over the other three multiple access techniques, that are FDMA, TDMA and CDMA. This is orthogonal frequency divisions 1 to 6 multi-carriers bandwidth. It is transmitted like this. You can see that one over the another band. So here the 4 bands are shown, but maximum OFDM can offer the 1 to 6 multi-carriers bandwidth available. Next is it offers the principle of orthogonality, means the multi-carriers can be transmitted at a time with the narrower bandwidth. Because of that, OFDM uses the data burst to reduce the inter-symbol interference, means instead of one band or one symbol per user, it can transmit the data in form of burst, and because of that the inter-symbol interference is reduces. Now if this inter-symbol interference is reduces, then the result is the distortion of the signal is reduced because of that. Now when symbol duration increases, ISI reduces, so this will result into the more sharp signal than the previous one, because the inter-symbol interference reduces in this case. And the advantage, the most biggest advantage of OFDM is reduce the multipath effect. We have seen in the unit number 3 that multipath effect introduces the different type of propagation losses, that if the signal is transmitted from the transmitter to receiver, means clear line of sight is there, then there is a chance of the no loss or almost the minimum path loss is possible when there is a clear line of sight. But to But when there is a obstruction or obstacle present in between the transmitter to receiver, then in that case the multipath effect is there, and most biggest advantage of OFDM is it reduces the multipath effect. To reduce the frequency selective fading also means the fluctuations that occurs at the transmitter and or a receiver, and it can also be reduced in case of OFDM. Now OFDM transmitter and receiver, for that consider this block diagram. For this block diagram, the first block is FEC. FEC means forward error correction. Means whatever now this block diagram is for the transmitter side. Now what will happen when it is used as a receiver OFDM? So it is complete the reverse block diagram for that. So first let me understand to you about the OFDM transmitter, that is FEC. First block is FEC, means forward error corrector block. Then interleaving mapping. Interleaver, the role of interleaver is to convert the random error into the burst form, means the random error that is created by the block FEC, forward error corrector, means whatever the errors that are remaining or whatever the random errors after the FEC block are then converted into the burst form. Now once the data is converted into the burst form, then it is passed to inverse Fourier transform block. Now inverse Fourier transform will separate each component, and then it is given to the guard interval. Now the role of this guard interval is to minimize the distortion or noise elements in between the separate signals. So the next block is the guard interval for the transmitter. After we added guard interval, it will be a symbol shaping, and then it is given to the modulator. Here in phase modulator is quadrature phase modulator is used because the maximum 4 symbols can be passed through this transmitter. Next it is passed through the mixture, and then at last it is passed through the antenna. So this is the block diagram of OFDM transmitter. Now if you want to draw the OFDM receiver part, then what you have to do is complete reverse process is that the signal come from the antenna, then it is mixed, and then it is passed to the demodulator. Then after the guard interval is added in between them, and then Fourier transformation will take place. So instead of IFT you have to mention the FT, Fourier transform there, and interleaver mapping. De-interleaving will be done, means the burst error can be converted into the random errors, and at last forward error decoder is there in case of receiver. So this is the block diagram for OFDM transmitter. If you want to draw the diagram for receiver, so you have to start from antenna, then mixture, then demodulator, symbol shaper, guard interval, Fourier transformation, de-interleaving, and decoder. So this is the block diagram of OFDM receiver. Next is data stream is sent in the form of symbols as we discussed. This is the description of OFDM transmitter and receiver. That stream data that is sent is converted into the symbols, because after that the symbol swapping will be done. Obviously the modulation type is quadrature modulation that I discussed. Each symbol is assigned to the one of the subscriber. That's why we have taken the IFT, means inverse Fourier transformation is taken place, because here each symbol is assigned to one of the subscriber, and every symbol is transformed to inverse fast Fourier transformation. And then OFDM is sensitive to phase and frequency noise. Now this OFDM is due to sensitivity to the phase and frequency noise. It is necessary to convert them or minimize the pulse shape needed to be selected before transmitting to the OFDM transmitter or after the OFDM receiver. Means to minimize the correct pulse shape, the original signal should be selected before transmitting or receiving. Next is CSMA. So this OFDM short note can be asked for 5 to 7 marks. Next topic is CSMA. The full form of CSMA is Carrier Sense Multiple Access. Here, Carrier Sense Multiple Access, the objective is each terminal on the network is able to monitor the status before the transmission. Now, what is the meaning of able to monitor the status? Means it checks that whether that channel is available or whether that particular bit is available for the transmission or not. Once it checks that particular channel or bit, then it transmits to that channel. So this is each terminal on the network is able to monitor the status of before transmission. There are two types of delay present in case of CSMA, that is detection delay. Detection delay do the thing that whether that channel is available or not, it checks that is called the time required to check that whether the particular channel is available for that or not, or whether the channel is idle or free. Then to check time for this is called as a detection delay. Next is propagation delay, means to transmit packet or data from one source or one transmitter to another transmitter, or from the one state to another state, whatever the processing time is, that is called as a propagation time for that protocol. So for this, the delay time TD can be calculated using the equation, that is TP into RB upon M, where TD means the detection delay is equal to TP means propagation time, RB means data rate, and M is expected number of bits in that data packets. So the one short question, 1 mark question can be asked using this equation, that is TD is equal to TP into RB upon M. So any three values are given in the question, and the fourth one you have to find out. So please keep this equation in mind. TD is equal to TP into RB upon small m, means expected number of bits in data packets. Now next is types of CSMA. First is one persistent CSMA, means with a packet as transmitted with probability 1. Terminal transmit the messages with probability 1 is called as one persistent. Non-persistence means there is the wait for random time interval, means once the packet is transmitted to the another end, then it wait for the random time interval, and after that the second packet will be transmitted. So this type of CSMA is called as a non-persistent CSMA. The third one is P-persistent CSMA. In that case, the packet is transmitted, the first available packet is transmitted with probability P, and then the others are transmitted with probability 1 minus P. So this is called as a P-persistent CSMA. Next is CSMA-CD, means Carrier Sense Multiple Access Collision Detect. So it uses to monitor the transmission for collision, means whether the two packets transmit at the same time, then collision will occur, and it is used to detect that particular collision in the system. So these are the different types of CSMA. Now in the next session we have discussed about the terminals that are used for the access protocols, that are hidden and the exposed terminal, and the detail about the CSMA. If you have any queries or questions up to this, you can ask me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you for watching.